Just a reminder about our data sheets. I talked about it a little bit in in the faculty meeting. Just feed that stuff in, and don't really go into the weeds. The information you have, just use that. Like if somebody like just transferred to your class, you don't have to go back to all the other teachers and try to find, you know, their attendance. Just.
What about the RTI stuff?
I can get you that.
Yeah, we were just talking about
That was,
If I can do a blast email, I can do it in 5 minutes. I've been working on it individually, but if I can,
Yeah, the one
it's not
is-
special ed yet. Do I have to do that particular? And just notify each teacher individually, or can I send it out to faculty and staff and list everybody all at once?
You can send it to.
How do that's what I'm working on. How do I play that one?
But all we need is numbers. You don't
Numbers
need.
is easy.
You
I
don't
just
need
thought
the
everybody
individual
named
names.
Just numbers.
for the
But they're not
RT,
in
for
their class.
SRA.
Well, that's right. They need them
They
for
have
their
to,
class.
yeah, they got known for each.
Well, what you have to
role.
do in that, you have to send them to the individual teacher.
Okay.
But it's not that many.
I think
We have more ninth graders than any.
True, and I think I'm down to 22 now.
Okay, well, I need a fresh list.
Okay.
and the absences, are we gonna send out another email?
Yeah, because I sent, what did I send y'all?
I mean, it was easier to pick through than
Yeah.
trying to do right now.
Tell me what I sent you. I forgot.
I have it, hold on, I have it stuck somewhere. It was student attendance first 9 weeks.
Okay. I sent it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll send that to you.
Okay.
So we need it for second time.
So we wait on an email from Tiffany for the RTI, and you
And I'll
want
do the
Sorry.
attendance.
And that was the question that I had from one of my persons about the number of students missing your class due to
Yes.
um,
The school
school
suspension.
suspension. Do you want every individual teacher to do that, or we're looking to the, because it kind of gets a little muddy.
Remember, they had said they wanted the names for the students who were suspended and not numbers. That's a little bit
All
hard.
right, don't worry about that. I'll take care of that on my sheet.
Or which
Okay.
of those is that?
It's on,
Okay.
it's
Ignore.
due to
Okay.
number of students missing days due to out-of-school suspension. And we got it.
Now, well, let me back up. What you need to do is keep those pink slips.
Right.
Because on those pink slips, it'll tell you whether they were suspended, whether they went to ISS. So you just use the information that you have on those pink slips.
Okay, but,
That's what goes in the computer.
so these are only referrals that we have written where students are,
That you have written.
okay.
And then when you do your department one, what each of you have done individually, you just combine it to your department.
And that's what I told her. I said, use your pink sheets.
Right.
And one is in home, one is in school, and one is out of school. And the in-school suspension was the one that was causing, like, you know, is this for like 1 hour? And I'm like, you got your pink sheets, so
Right.
use your pink
And
sheets.
just use the big referrals.
The big referrals only.
Right.
So we don't use the little 1 hour ISS.
1 hour is not a 1 hour ISS. 1 hour is a 1 hour intervention.
Okay.
So only the big.
So it's an
only,
intervention. If you look at, we changed the slips. The way some of y'all may have the old slips. But only where they were assigned to ISS for ISS. Not engagements,
okay, not engaged.
not engagements, because engagements is just another intervention. Just a long slip, so if you ain't wrote nobody up, then you good.
Just checking to make sure, if this, for example, Miss Williford writes a student up, and they get suspended for a day, and he's also in my class, or she's also in my class, I don't report that suspension. Because I didn't write it up.
Yeah,
That's what right now, Chad.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, she's on.
Like Chad
Especially-
Gibbons got suspended, but she's in ISS for the next 5 days. It wasn't for my class, but she is missing my class for that.
But if you look at the end of the day, I tell you what, this may be easier. At the end of the day, we always, do y'all get the report at the end of the day from ISS, talk about ISS, suspension, engagements?
Yes, for the
Well, for the
next
next day, it'll show it.
Huh?
It'll show the engagement for the next day.
Yeah, that may be, to answer your question, that may be a better, that may be a better tool than,
Which I think actually you can go back in Infinite Campus, which you probably have to do it for every student, but it'll tell you, it'll show up, you know, it marks it a different color where they were suspended. The reason they were absent was they were suspended that day. Or, I mean, it
that
shows
is
a
true.
different
If
thing.
you pull
So
up,
is there a report that Teresa can run when she runs the absence report, the ones that were in?
yeah. But if you do that, you have to do each individual,
Right.
each individual
But I mean,
student.
I don't know where all them emails, you know, where they were suspended and all from, I mean, I just hadn't been,
I tell you what,
just,
don't worry about that. I'll just put that on I'll put the discipline on my big report, because it's easier for me to do that.
Thank you, Coach Green.
You're welcome.
But we could, but just the general number of referrals for our own is fine.
You can do that,
But
right.
the bottom part of this where it's, okay.
We're talking about missing days of
Uh-huh.
suspension, missing days for ISS. I'll just do the big report.
Okay.
Any other part of it we need to discuss? Good?
And again, for the big referrals, we're doing names and not numbers.
What is that
the
actually?
teachers do names, and then the department takes the names and turns it into a
To a
number.
number, right,
Okay.
right.
Did you give us the date for the data information sheets to be, I know you said just continue to do it.
Yeah, I did not, for it to be turned in, I did. But what you have to decide as departments is when you're going to collect it and put it on the department one. That's the only one I would need, is the one from the department, because the department one is what feeds into my report. The individual one is just for you on your data. Johnny's missed, you know, he's missed so many days, just to kind of give you that information. All right, any other questions on the data sheet? You good? Okay. Just if you would, remind your teachers, you know, we know that this is a difficult demographic that we work with. And we know that every now and then, some of these students in our demographics, they'll push our buttons a little bit. Remind them about the word disengage. We've had a couple incidents, and I'm gonna talk to a teacher about you getting out of my class. Yeah, yes, with the kid. So how do you defend that when a parent comes and asks, why is a teacher fist pumping my child? Can't get to return a phone call, can't get to come to parent night, but if you fist pump my child, then you come in here. Which I don't, you know, you shouldn't be fist pumping, because it's not. One thing people don't forget, and we still don't forget how people make us feel. Even throughout life, you can reflect now about somebody years and years, even when you was a little bitty baby, about them making you feel bad in kindergarten. You'll remember that till today. So no fist pumping, you know, just disengage. We got to remain the professionals. Just please remind them. Just remember that word. And we're gonna continue supporting them, so there's no need to even go there. Okay, we got a lot of things in place to get them out your class. So, and y'all remember the biggest thing both between teachers and between students was the respect thing. Teachers not feeling students respect them, students not feeling teachers respect them. But the ones that has to change that is the adults. Okay, SACs, we got those emails.
We did, and I pretty much touched base with everybody about theirs, just to kind of make sure that they got everything.
Okay.
and
Was
That they
the
were supposed to.
feedback, was it okay?
And, yes. As a matter of
Okay.
fact, the last one I talked to today was Laurie, and she said all of hers was done, maybe one or two little small things.
Okay.
And she's got that covered, and then I know Miss Cunningham worked in the lab all afternoon yesterday afternoon, finishing hers up. And
Okay.
did you get everything?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I think that's got everything covered.
Okay. And I have not called order on purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Well, no news is good news.
Yeah, I have not called her on purpose. I figure she'll call me. Because I don't, this.
And I went in there and kind of looked around too, spot checks and things from when I got those emails, because I was out Monday, so Tuesday, well, yesterday, I went in and kind of looked, because I know I looked over yours and saw everything was there.
Okay.
And so I think she has not said anything else to me, so
Okay, well, that's
For
good.
now.
no news is good news to me.
That's kind of how I feel for now.
Mm-hmm.
You get ready to say something?
No.
Oh, you said well now.
No, I said for now.
Oh, for now.
I just know they're
Okay.
fine tuning everything.
Okay.
It's almost over.
All right, on the Saks visit, and I know we'll be talking more when we, as they get closer. And we'll go over the district walkthrough results and kind of give us some feedback on what they saw. But what I would like to do, and I kind of got this idea when we were in PLCs today. What I would like to do to at least, now we should have those other carts up by the time this 6, but at least assign one cart to each department.
Okay.
Okay? And then if there's any left, then it can go out to whomever. And then if we assign one each department, if you're not using all of them, just share them.
Okay.
Share the iPads so everybody will have access to them.
Is this iPad cards and netbook, or just iPad cards?
We got netbook cards too.
Yeah.
We've got 5. We've got number 6 on the way.
Okay. Well, we've got, how many iPad cards do we have?
Right now, we have 4 that are in use, and I have 5 that I'm working on. I'm
Okay. So hopefully we'll have 9 iPads. How many netbook cards do we have?
6. So that's 15.
We only got enough. We can give one of each one of them 2. Okay.
Excuse me, do you know if the connectivity is working in our area?
I am not sure about that, but I'll check on it tomorrow.
'Cause we checked them out before.
That's right.
They would not work, and so we talked to Karen.
That area of the building was not.
Really?
Was not
Well, it's been
working.
like a couple of months.
They said it was never even. What did they tell you?
That they didn't have the Wi-Fi connectivity. So, but the parts, we couldn't use them.
Right.
So, and that's been, like I said, a little while, and I think they're gonna look into it and talk to Jennifer.
I'll follow up on that. Put that in your notes.
And I know she's going to be out the rest of the week, but I'll text her
Okay.
when we're done. I'll text her and find out what the status is.
Okay, good, because we certainly.
While we're talking about that, just a concern, I've used them about the netbooks twice in about the last week, and teachers, the kids are just shutting the netbooks, and they're putting them up, so they're on, like we opened up, we probably had 10 of them yesterday that were still on Kahoot from the day before. If we could just ask the teachers maybe to have the kids shut them down, not just shut the netbook, and maybe check behind them, make sure because those, when they're not shutting down, they're not updating. Then you open it up and it might need 100 updates run on it.
And they are supposed to be doing that, but there's no way that between Karen and I, we can open
Oh, I know y'all
every
do. I know that's why I'm a
device.
teacher, but I mean, like yesterday, it
Yeah.
took me 3 minutes to go around and just make sure that they were shut down, because either the green light's on or it's not. If the green light's on, they just shut it and left the computer on. If it's off.
What we have to do with these netbook cards is, because if they come back damaged, it's the teacher's responsibility to make sure that those things are not damaged in any kind of way. So what we almost have to do is, and I don't know how we do them, we just let the kids go and grab them and go sit down, or do we, are they numbered?
They are.
Yeah, so do we start from the first row and go number 1 through whatever? I mean, I don't know what your process is, But there has to be some type of, if one is damaged, or at the end of the period, give you enough time to go around and have them shut them down. Because if we just leave it up there, that's what they're gonna do, they're gonna close them. And then they're sitting in the cart closed, and then when the next person go to use it, it's trying to update. So just make sure that they're shut down. It's just real simple, you know. All right, everybody shut down your netbook, and then just do a quick check. Let the kid in the first row go up and down and check. Just do something real quick so we'll know that they're shut down.
So I don't think it's a big a deal for iPads, right? You don't have, they don't update like the netbook. The
You talking about netbooks?
The netbook.
It's the netbook.
We need to shut them all down. Just get in the habit of shutting them all down. Okay, group work. What I'm seeing in group work, and we'll work on this, but what I'm seeing in group work is that we have them in group, but they're still working individually. And what I mean by that, they're working individually, and then I guess we get around to them doing some type of group work. And I know that I had one conference with a parent that in the group work, her child's complaint was that in the group work, the teacher takes up the wrong paper. And when I say the wrong paper, now of course, I'm not, I didn't just, this is my first rodeo, and of course, anytime a child wants to have a schedule changed or want to make a point, they'll make it like the teacher take up work and I'm getting a 0 when the people in my group are not doing the work, which I know that in most groups, I think everybody's doing the same work, and then that's why we just taking up one paper. Because I heard you today say, make sure that, or pick a paper or something. You
To
told me.
make sure that everybody agrees on what your answer. They had one to do, everybody had to agree on it.
Right. And so what I told the teacher is when you go to a group, let them hand you what paper they want to hand you. And that takes the argument completely out of the, when you go pick a paper up from the group, all right, which one y'all want to give me?
Okay. Remember the strategy that Ms. Watts gave us? Now, if I have them numbered and I randomly pick one, and they may not make the grade that they want, I tell them from the beginning, if you want to improve your grade, you're going to have to come and let's go over it and you can improve your grade.
Okay.
But I've only had one student take advantage of that.
But I'm gonna play the devil's advocate with you. I'm into my group working, and just today, I sat in one of those groups. And the young lady that was sitting next to me was the one that was pretty much doing the work, while I was sitting next to her. Now, you randomly pick, and you don't pick her paper. I can't defend that. And she was sitting this close, and I was looking, and she was facilitating that whole group. Which one do you want? Which one are you gonna work for? And what's your answer? And they would get an answer, and she would write it down, and
That's how it should work.
right. But what I'm saying is,
Make sure you get
so
that
obviously she wants a good grade. So in order to take that argument away, if we just walk over there and say, all right, y'all give me the paper y'all want me to have, then it takes that argument away. Because if you, like you said, if you randomly pick one, and because what you're talking about is, if you pick the wrong one and she's been doing all the work, then that's the argument that I got from the parent.
I understand the argument.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. So either we're gonna grade all 4, or we're gonna, let them give us. And that way I said, no, they hand in cause a lot of these conferences, y'all ain't even in. You know what I'm saying? And I can say, no. They give the paper that they want the teacher to have. one of them other papers, and then I get a low grade, and that's just not fair.
I understand what you're saying, and I can go along with that, but that's the main thing of this work, when we tell them, you know, work together, make sure that each person I'm gonna tell you an example, have the same answer when you go through it. This didn't happen this time, did that last 9 weeks, okay? You will have that person that does all the work, that will go after, and you'll have this joker right here, you know, that they don't want a bad grade. He won't even do anything.
Okay.
So they'll say, you know, you are part of our group. So they'll just take his paper. And he's getting a good grade, and he hadn't even participated.
Okay, what about the flip side of it? I mean, I understand what you're saying, but what about the flip side? Of the one that did all the work,
It's not fair.
but what's happening is that
Yeah.
person is getting his grade. So I'd much rather the person that's doing the work get the right grade.
I do.
Now, as a teacher, we have to figure out maybe that technique is not working. Do we collect every paper in the group and grade every paper in the group? If that technique, if the random picking is not working, then we got to do something else.
It doesn't work for all. It really don't.
Right.
It really don't work for all. But nothing.
And I'm not telling you what to do. You do however you want to do it. We just have to be able to justify it. That's all I'm saying. Okay?
I understand.
Well, we work with our students, and what we do is we have a recorder for that group. And the recorder is the person that turns the paper in, but they work it together. And when we facilitate, we go around to the different tables. If we see someone not working, then we'll give them a warning and say, well, you should be helping. And if they're not, I'll tell them we're going to take points off
Off of your grade.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So that person who isn't participating will not get the same grade everybody else gets.
Right.
They didn't participate.
And that requires what? Us walking around monitoring that thing. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying be able to justify it. That's all I'm saying.
I can give you the rubric that is used, that we got from English, that science used to, about that particular thing, by not participating in doing. It's a rubric where each individual person will contribute to the group
Right.
grade too. So you get like 2 grades for this.
Right.
thing.
Oh, I'm not disputing it.
I'm just trying to help.
All I'm saying. No, but I'm calling you. You better be able to justify. I'm gonna say, ma'am, let me get her down here or whatever. I'm just giving you a heads up that if you're doing it, make sure that you take away the argument of my child is doing all the work, but they've taken a paper up of Joe Snuffy who hadn't done anything, and then my child's getting that grade. I mean, none of us in this room that have children would stand for that. You understand what I'm saying? So just, however you're doing it, just do it so that you can justify. I'm not saying how to do it. That's just something that I saw.
Pull from D back in there to pull out Joe Snuff.
Did you get that? Oh, that's the military. Man, Joe Snuffy was the military. Air Force ain't quite got the Joe Snuffy yet. Yeah, they still using real names.
We don't cut corners.
All right. Let's really, and you know, with our IFs doing a wonderful job of bringing the information back. Listen, this was back from the Milestone people. The information they brought us that we did in the PLCs was the feedback that they got from the Milestone people based on this first milestone that was taken. And it was vocabulary, and it was the problem solving, and they specifically gave us the things that students had problems with. So we're not talking vocabulary, we're not raw-tawing the standard, and we're not hitting these things and we're gonna miss the mark. And to make it more personal with me too, we've had a 2-year practice. And y'all know what's gonna happen next year. These students scores and these students' progress and stuff like that is going to ride directly into our evals. And it is not, and y'all know it's not the old eval where I bring you in and color in the S. Man, you've done a great job. It's not that. It's the, let me take this finger and move it over here. Here's your gap score. There it is. Okay? So we have to, and listen, that stuff, when I said in that stuff, the stuff the IFs have given us, y'all, that's the roadmap. You know, we got the percentages of what, the percentages of each domain. We know each domain. We know how much of it's going to be on the test and everything. We must do this. Okay, so please, vocabulary. I was in a room, was it today or yesterday, that I saw a perfect opportunity for the teacher to go into a vocabulary, and he just kind of missed it. And the kids were, the hint is, what does that word mean? That's the hint. They read a little more, what does that word mean? And in our prior knowledge, we're supposed to do what? We're supposed to read the stuff prior to giving it to the kids, and then we're supposed to pull out those vocabulary words that we think that they probably would have a hard time pronouncing, and that's part of our prior knowledge, so that when they do read, they can comprehend. Because part of our literacy is those ingredients is reading, comprehending, writing, thinking, and reasoning. And what we're saying, if they can do them, if they can do that or have those skills, then whatever's put in front of them, they should be successful at it. Okay? So let's please keep tying those standards and keep building that vocabulary. I went around today, the independent reading was going great. I think the more we do it, the better it's going. I think all of our Hawk Time stuff is right where we need it to be. The last thing, we need to start shifting to letting the students do the work. You know, our IFs, that's what they're preaching. And I know it's hard. I know it's difficult for some of us to just kind of, you know, let them do it. But when SACs come in here, like we said, they're not interested in what we're doing. I mean, we can be like Mr. Carroll doing that little snake across the stage, and they ain't gonna pay that no attention. They're gonna be trying to look at what the students are doing, okay? So they're not interested in what we're doing. Have to get those students involved. And like we said earlier in the PLC, make sure you incorporate it into something that you've always been doing. Because when them SACs people come in February, you try to pop up with something that you ain't never done, those kids gonna tell on you. Because the SACs people, they're gonna talk to your students. These people are seasoned people. They're not gonna just take it at face value. How long have y'all been doing this? Oh, we just started it. They told us y'all was coming, so we just started it. If y'all think they won't do it, they'll do it. And you know who they gonna talk to. Yep. You know, they ain't gonna pull great student Heron here. They gonna pull knucklehead Alan Gray, and I'm gonna get my revenge. I'm gonna get my revenge, you know, that day. And y'all know that's how it goes. So make sure it's something that even if they pull me, I can't, unless I'm just outright lying, you know, I gotta tell a little bit of it. But if it's something new, just make sure that we incorporate it. And I know that it's kind of like today. I went in and you know, and I'll end on this, for Good Behavior Day. You know, Ms. Brandon gave me 2 movies. So I went in the theater, got with Mr. Price was teaching class. I said, when you get an opportunity, I need you to show me let's see if this theater thing is gonna work. By the way, it's better than Carmichael, I'll tell you. By the way. But, so Mr. Price, he was doing the whole reading thing, and I said, well, they read, we're gonna be in the booth so we can see them. So when I get to the door, I get a little bit ahead of them. I get to the door, I turn around, it's a student right there. So that student takes me in the booth, hooks everything up. You put it in here, you do this, he's adjusting the sound. And I look out, there's a student letting the screen down. And I'm just standing there, and this young man takes that thing and he makes that thing fit the screen and everything. And what Mr. Price doing, he's down there doing his thing with his class. And I was like, you know, that's the drama, I'm gonna call that the drama theory. That's something I made up. But what's my point? Is we gotta start letting these kids do it. You know, we talk about it in PLCs. If you ever come to a basketball game, I want you to listen who's doing the lineup. I want you looking at the office and see who's doing the music. I want you to look and see who's doing the laundry. I want you to look and see who's getting the water, who's getting the towels. They're all students. Those coaches are coaching. They just let those kids, and if we can ever get them to, if we can ever take that concept to the classroom, and that's all Sachs is talking about, it's letting the kids do it. They go up to the board. I went in the room today, and the teacher, bless his heart, he was up there just teaching away. And I'm back there, and I'm sitting in the group, and I'm back there, and them poor kids were just sitting there, and they ain't had no idea what was going on. And I'm sitting, and I leaned over to one little girl. I said, baby, you know what's going on? She said, well, yeah, but he always just, he always do that. You know, he always talks first, and then he'll come in there. And she was trying to help him out. She was trying to help him out. She was trying her best, because she, you know, principal actor, I don't want to get the man in trouble. But she was trying to help him out. But she couldn't. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the way it should look. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, what he's doing up there, if we can just have a student up there doing it, because obviously he introduced the lesson. That wasn't a question. But if we could have got a student up there filling in those squares, and then him just kind of standing off to the side, just coaching them along. And then if somebody else, if he's struggling a little bit, and then they work, and then you bring somebody else up, and you let them do the work, and you just stand over there kind of coaching them along. That's what it has to look like. And that's where we have to get. You know, it's kind of like my basketball theory. If I want them to teach them a layup, and I stand in front of my class, and I'm saying, okay, when you do a layup, if you're right-handed, you take 2 steps, you go off your left foot, and you put the ball in the square, and then your odds of making that layup increase. Now, what do? We dribble with our right hand, we go off our left foot, we put it in the square, and our odds increase. Then we get in the game, and we wonder why they can't make a layup. Because we ain't never let them practice. And then all that stuff that these IFs been talking about in PLCs is all about, what's those terms? Justify. If I go up on a math problem, and all I do is write it up on the board and go sit down, and the teacher steps up and do all the justification, then when they get into the game, which is called the milestone, they're going to be missing layups all over that. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So this is what we got to talk to our department about, is letting them do it. Once we introduce that lesson, get them up there and let them do it. When we in groups, I think Ms. Watts gave the example of stations. When you talk about differentiation, the biggest thing I saw in the district walkthrough yesterday was They were in groups, but everybody was doing the same thing. You know, it's just like you can break up parts of the lesson and rotate them through parts of the lesson. That's differentiation all day long. Instead of everybody doing the same thing at the same time in the same place. So we're just talking about getting those things as a part of it in SACS, and also just the way, the direction that instruction is going. You know, Art, that's what he does. You know, that's part of, that's what he does. They may be over here painting something, this one over here doing pottery, that one back there on the keel, and that one, you know, and that's what we have to try to get our classroom. But first of all, we got to trust the students, and we got to understand that, you know, we're going to have to monitor it, but if we do it and get them into the routine, then it'll work. Because just like our IFs are giving us, all of those keywords, all of those problem-solving techniques, and all of that stuff is what, and that came straight from the Milestone people. And after that first assessment, they're telling us exactly what the students had a problem with. And if we just choose to ignore it, then we're gonna get the same thing that we've always been getting. But what it requires for us, and I'll end on this one, what it requires for us is to look at our planning and look at those lessons that we planned. And those lessons that we planned and we're so used to using, and we've been using for the last 10 years, and planning differently. That's the only way it's gonna work. And I know we changed dates, because I always tell you that story about the one, he's no longer with us. Not only didn't he change the date, he didn't change the he left a teacher's name on his planning that retired 3 years ago. And I'm like, man, she ain't even with us no more. You could at least took her name off the, yeah. But what he did, he got her thumb drive when she left and just started using her lesson plans. And he just, I don't know, in his haste or whatever, he left her name on it. I'm looking like, she retired 3 years ago. And this is, what was the one, GPS. You know what I'm saying? He was using, what was the one before GPS?
QCC.
Yeah, that's what it was. He was using QCC lesson plan. And we were in GPS. Well, that's just a disaster. But, and we all know how, you know, they're laying out the plan. They come back and told us what we need to do. We just need to do it, because it's gonna directly affect us. When I say us, I mean us, because 70% of my evaluation and their evaluation too is on milestones and SLOs.
The boys on the team.
Yep. And I got a 6th grader. So unless I hit that $1 million, unless I hit that $1 billion lottery, we'll still be here too. So let's just do it. I mean, that's, you know, if somebody's belly aching, stay away from the negativity. Don't get discouraged. Stay away from the negativity, because this thing is individualized now. We've had a 2-year practice. So let's just do it. And y'all know I'll help you any way that I can. You know, all these other administrators, y'all just come talk to us. Y'all have anything? You can come this way. Yes, ma'am. Come on. No, you first. You take it to the truck. He'll take it. Ms. Harden, do y'all have anything? No. Okay. Listen. Thank y'all for a job well done. I know y'all, you know, working hard, and we trying to get this thing, but we want to work hard, and we also want to work smart. And I guarantee you, if you treat much more restful than you up there stressing out every period, try to show them how much we know. If you let them do it, I promise you, you stand over there and you just give them directions, do it one day and then come give me a report. And if it ain't better, I'll buy you a Mountain Dew.
That's
And
it.
signs, Coach?
Sir?
You believe in signs and omens and stuff?
Do what now?
Talk about $1 billion and look who just walked in the door.
Who is
For
that?
real?
Oh, yeah.
That's Ms. Tarver.
That's Ms. Thompson? How old is she, her children? We play all those numbers. How many? Right? They got ages. We play all the ages and be fine. Listen, thank y'all. And if nothing else, we're done.